Hello friends, my name is Justice. In this video I'll be demonstrating how to implement PPS in R. Now just to provide a little background, PPS is the short form of probability proportional to size sampling, and this sampling technique is a variation on multi-stage sampling in which the probability of sampling a primary sampling unit, otherwise known as PSU, is proportional to its size, and an equal number of elements is sampled within each PSU. So supposing that one PSU has twice as large a population as another, it is given twice the chance of being selected. Now we shall be using R to implement this, and some of us are already conversant with the programming language. We know that R is used for development. We can also use it for data analytics, so we can perform visualizations and other data analysis tasks using R. Now the first thing we have to do is to import or to install the packages that are needed in order to perform this task. But first, let me provide a brief background of the task that we want to perform. Now, we have 50 states in the United States, and we want to just sample 10 out of the 50. So we want just to select 10 states out of the 50 states in the United States of America. I want to use PPS to get that done. Good. And why don't you want to do this manually? Well, using R is actually more efficient and it will save us a lot of time and worries. Yeah, so we have the 50 states in the United States, and we want to select just 10 states out of these 50 states. So what we did was to get the population of each state in the United States of America, and we have already assigned IDs to each state in the US. So California is assigned to 1, Texas is assigned to 2, and so on and so forth for the 50 states in the United States. All right. The first thing we actually have to do in order to get this done is to install the needed packages, and we actually need basically 2 packages to get this done: the PPS and the sampling book. So how do you install packages in R? Well, that is very simple. Simply click on this button if you've not installed the packages that you want to use. Click here and type PPS, for example. And when I type that, I'll just click enter and then click on install here. But I've already installed this package, so I'll just click cancel. Good. How do you know that you've installed the package? You can search from here, so I'll just search PPS, and when I do that, I can see PPS sampling as the description. It is version 1.0, and this means that I've already installed this package. Now I can activate this package by checking this box, and it is already checked, means that it is already activated. Another way of activating this package is to run this line of code: library and then bracket PPS. All right, so I've already activated this, so I'll just clear this, and I also activated the sampling book. All right, so what I'll just do is to run these 2 lines of code to be sure that I've activated 2 of them, and as you can see here, I've done that. Good. The next thing is this United States and population. So what we see here is that each, like California for example, this is the population of California, this is the population of Texas, and so on and so forth for the 50 states that we are considering here. All right, and we can see the ID is assigned from 1 to 50. So this 50 is just the total population that we have, in this case 50 states in the United States, and we have the Z, which is the vector of quantities which determine the sampling probabilities in the population. And what is happening here is that we have converted this population here to a data frame. All right, now the next thing we also have to do, so I'll just run this line of code And the next thing we have is the set seed, and for my set seed I've set it to 1528201, and this will help us to get the same result each time we run this code. So if you want to get the same result with me, simply use this same seed. It's known as random seed. Alright, so I'll just run it. Good. Now the next thing is to implement the PPS sampling and to fill whatever were the arguments that we need. So from here we can see Z using this data frame and slicing it to only Z, which is the population. And like I mentioned before, Z is just the vector of quantities which determine the sampling probabilities in the population. And the next argument is this n, which is the number of samples that were. So out of these 50 states, we just want to select 10 out of 50. That is the meaning. So this is the sample size. What we have next is the method, and for our method here we are using tile. We also have other options, so we can use Sanford, we can use Mizuno, we can use Mado, and those are the methods that are possible. But here we are using tile, and you can select any of these based on your use case. Now the next thing is the return.py, and we've set that to false. So this could either be true or false. It is logical, and if we select true, for example, the pairwise inclusion probabilities for all individuals in the population are returned, but we don't want that. That's a lot, so we just set it to false. So we just go ahead and run this line of code, and the next thing is to view our results, and I'll just run this pps underscore sample underscore type. So when that is done, we see that this is the result, and from here we can see the sample, the PPS sample, and we have these IDs. Like I said before, these IDs represent the states in the United States. So 1 here is telling us that California is selected. We have 2, that means that Texas is selected. We have 9 is North Carolina, and we have 10 is Michigan. We have 14, which is Arizona. We have 18, which is Missouri. We have 24, which is Alabama. We have 26, which is Kentucky. We have 28, which is Oklahoma. And lastly, we have 30, which is Utah. So this is basically what we have. PPS has helped us to get 10 states from the 50 states in the United States. So the source of this data, the source of the data is included in the description of this video, and I would like you to help me like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.